playing now. So I would imagine we'll start off with, like you said, Victor will be walking through his thing, carrying bright and early in the morning, carrying all of his alchemical and magical gear past the lot to his laboratory, which happens to go by the little chapel they built in the castle, because that's just funny. You know what? I'm Jubei. I get to create the floor plan. That's official.
Fair.
So as he walks past it, he looks over and sees you praying, goes, "Huh, you know what? Yeah, the morning prayers, I guess, yeah? Well, and just walks past carrying his stuff. So how much later do you want this to be when he comes back, when she's still there?"
11 p.m.
Okay, Victor comes back, rubbing his eyes, got a turkey leg in his hand, just because it's Thanksgiving for me. I'm allowed to have Victor with a turkey leg. As he's having a late midnight snack before he gets to bed. Comes by eating a turkey leg, wearing his little cap, goes, there's good stuff. What? Huh? What? Looks in and sees you kneeling down still, rubs his head as he's like, goes, Ayla, have you moved in the last past 16 hours?
Doesn't budge an inch, still kneeling with her hands clasped tightly together, kind of like in a fist almost, just right in front of her, pressed against like the top of the bridge of her nose and her forehead, eyes closed, brows furrowed.
Ayla? Huh. I wonder if she died. Or undied. Or, you know what? I'm not even sure what you'd call it at this point, but
She
walks
wishes.
up to her. Yeah, no. Walks up to her with the turkey leg in her hand, puts it down. Ayla, you say, hello? And he waves his hand in front of her closed eyes. No response.
No response.
This is kind of a golden opportunity. If I only had a felt marker.
And actually, it's funny you entered the way that you did, because like after a moment's pause, like there's like a small twitch with her nose as if like she takes a small sniff, and then she squints her eyes open and immediately drops the prayer to hold a hand over her mouth and nose.
Oh god, that's right, the meat. Oh, she is all awake now, eh?
Take that somewhere else, please. Oh, God.
What? It's just good old... Oh, yeah, it's the meat thing. I'm sorry. Yeah, 1 second. He takes out a bag and drops it into the bag. Just disappears. Oh, by the way, finish this bag of holding. Yeah, very useful for leftovers.
I have to shake off the nausea for a second. And then finally, like, lowers her hand to look up at him, just like... just a fed up look at him. It's just like, can I help you with something?
You know what? I was just worried. I saw you here this morning in the exact same position. Well, it's been Zex and Avas. Well, you have not moved an inch since then. I thought you might have been dead, but then, the smell of the turkey seemed to bring you out of it. So you're welcome.
Glowers at him. It's just like... moves back into her position, the position she was in, closing her eyes, brows looking more furrowed than before, and clasping her hands together in prayer again. It's just like, I do this once every month. It is normal.
Oh, God! Why'd you say it like that? Is that some sort of substitution thing?
Substo... What?
Well,
again, blinks her eyes open to look at it.
You used to do one thing once a month. You're dead now, so I assume that no longer happens. So is this some sort of, like, compensation or like replacement therapy?
You know that one picture that Chris posted when when Juno was talking about Scar and Claws with the anime boy and his nose just like in a like just a look of disgust.
Yeah. Sorry, you open that one wide open.
She just shakes her head. She's a medical person, so that's not why she's gross. She's just gross in the fact that that's the first thing his mind went to. She's just like, no. I am doing, this is my special prayer that I do. It is my prayer that I do for Zeros.
Oh, yeah. So, what has she got to say?
It is apologies. There is a lot to go over, so it ends up taking the most of the day, but I do not need to do so for another month.
Wait a minute, you mean it takes you an entire day just to apologize for the shit you did for 1 month?
Oh no, it's not for. Well, I can add that off on the end if I believe I did something wrong during the month. It is more just apologizing for past things, and I make sure to do it every month to atone.
So you apologize for the thing you only apologize for every month?
No. Tired sigh is once again she lowers the prayer.
But I just try to understand.
How do I explain this? Okay, say that. Okay, say that when you were really young, you did something very, very bad. Maybe, I don't know, accidentally got someone important to you killed or something. And when you find yourself wanting to try to make up for that, you apologize. So basically, that is what I'm doing, but I am just making sure to do it every month to make up for it.
Okay, so you did something very bad in the past. I got that. I could only guess what it is, but each to his own. I will not pry. But so to make up for the bad thing you did, you say sorry to your god once a month for a day.
Yes. I used to do it every day, but eventually, that began to. Well, I was given a sign that I should probably stop that, so I've toned it down quite.
Yeah, if I was Zeros and there was this lady who kept saying, I'm so sorry for the thing that I did, just again, and go, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'd probably get you to stop too after a while.
No, that's not how it goes. Here, I will demonstrate an example. Let's see. I was ending off towards the end of my list anyway, so I will finish up with this past week. All right, let's see. It gets back into her position, closing her eyes, clasping her hands, and starts speaking aloud this time. It's just like, forgive me, Zeros, for believing that the gnome should no longer be a part of this tower. Forgive me, Zeros, for imagining pushing him off of a ledge. Forgive me, Zeros.
At this point, I'm just going to do it because Victor can't help himself from being an asshole in this moment. He goes, all of a sudden you just hear munching. As he's sitting down, you just hear as you're doing all your prayers.
Is it the turkey leg again?
Nope.
What is this? She pauses and looks at him.
He's going into his bag of holding and he's pulling out popcorn.
She groans and rolls her eyes, and then
Oh,
just
Charlie,
like
did you want some?
she's just like, "Forgive me, Zeros, for the momentary stutter in my thoughts of wishing for him to choke. That was inappropriate. See, you get the understanding of it now. Every single time I list off something new and apologize."
Yeah, so basically you're bitching to Zeros about all the stuff that's driving you nuts, yeah?
Hmm.
You know what? At this point, Victor's just got a big, stupid shit grin on his face. Yeah, I get ya. I was just having some fun with ya. Yeah, lighten up. Oh, by the way, did you hear that Jubei got in hold of us lately?
Oh, she'll lower her prayer hands and look over to him. Not with a look of disgust this time, but genuine curiosity. It's just like, what did he have to say?
Yeah, well, apparently Asian spoke to him, and, we were going to mention it to you, but you've been praying all day. So we didn't get around to it, but apparently, you won't believe this, but, Davia had some sort of, vengeance death quest, eh?
Oh, oh dear. How did that go?
Well, apparently, and I have no idea how, she didn't kill the guy. By choice!
Oh, that is just wonderful. That means she's growing as a person, and as I said, Jubei has been a wonderful influence. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, my guess is the boy's in the doghouse, though.
Oh dear, that's a shame. Um, hmm. Did he say or do something?
Yeah, well, I mean, I only got the tidbits of it. I was able to get a hold of the crystal and ask Dubé about it myself after a while. I got to say, Aiden's got a very good grip on that thing. He didn't want to seem to give it up. But in any case, yeah, apparently what happened was, they went to this village full of the Nipponese people. Go figure. And
Oh,
their leader was an orc.
oh, I have read a bit on orcs. What was he like?
Well, they didn't get much of a chance to ask him because there was a giant demon there they had to fight off.
Oh, that's terrible.
Isn't
Is
Davia
everything
stop the
alright?
man?
Is he alive?
Oh, yeah, but apparently it was a bit of a close thing.
Oh dear. Well, I suppose at the very least, it's good she didn't kill him.
Yeah, well, she didn't. From what I understood, they had to do a bit of a, how should we say, forced therapy. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Oh dear. It sounds like their travels have been rather troubling. Then that's a shame.
Yeah. It seems like, oh yeah, and apparently Davia shot somebody just before that.
How? Oh, jeez. Oh, goodness.
Oh yeah, she was going to be executed on the pirate island.
Maybe it's not a good idea for Davia to be joining these missions.
You know what? At least, they might want to put a safety on that gun of hers.
Oh boy. Well, at the very least, it's good to hear that they're doing okay. A conflicted look on her.
Well, they're all alive, so, I mean, that's something, yeah?
I suppose. Well, thank you for informing.
Oh, yeah, no problem. So, Then Victor will kneel down beside her. Let's give this thing a try, shall we? Yeah. And he's gonna go down and go to a pray position next to her.
It's just like a momentary, just like blank expression as if she doesn't understand what just happened, and then just slowly, just a face of just like on her face. She looks absolutely delighted. And just a big happy smile on her face as she like kind of wiggles herself back into position, like straightening her back. And she's like, "All right, so you just straighten your back and square your shoulders. You can do whatever is most comfortable for you. This is just personally what I prefer. And hold your hands together, and it doesn't matter where you look with your eyes closed. You can stare up towards the ceiling or forward or down. Just think of the person that, whatever faith you may follow, and say what you want to say to them, whether out loud or in your head. It doesn't matter. Up to you."
Okay, I think I got it. Dear Yadar, I would like to beg this forgiveness stuff, because apparently this is what you're supposed to do with your God. And so I would like to go over this stuff I need forgiveness for this month. Please forgive me about thinking about drawing on the face of Ella here when she was unconscious, when not looking. So I think it would have been pretty funny to put a mustache on her face and see how long it took her to see it was there. If you approve of this prank, please give me a sign.
Smile twitches back into a thin line. Opens eyes for a moment to look at him, then closes them again and says nothing.
Also, I would like to beg for some forgiveness when I was looking around the place when I found some interesting stuff in the drawers. I did not realize there was special stuff, and I put them back right away without looking or nothing.
Special drawers?
You don't know.
What's he talking about?
You don't get to know. It's Victor.
Damn it. Ayla's staying quiet because as much as some of that stuff is annoying her, he's trying.
And Zach, if you is able to give me a bit of suggestions for my latest magical invention to help the world, I would very much appreciate it. The advancements of science and magic need to move forward. Oh, and please look after my 3 little new boys. They're good kids who need some looking after, and their big sister is doing the best to teach them the ways of the world.
A smile comes back to face with that. She will pause to see if he's still going or if he's finished.
He stops for a sec, looks up, thinks about it. Oh yeah, and one last thing. Nothing major or nothing, but you know what? If you could just maybe perhaps, next time Davia tries to do something crazy, just push the luck down a little bit so she maybe not shoot someone right in the head. Just because the problems and all that seems to be cutting quite a lot.
Is he finished with that?
Yeah, he goes up. Yeah. Gets up and dusts his hands.
Ayla looks at him, delighted smile back on her face again, just like has that excited shimmer look in her eyes again, which she gets when people have any interest at all in this sort of stuff. It's just like, well, how do you feel?
About the same. To be honest, my daughter's been getting me to do this every night.
Oh, it is a wonderful thing to do. It can definitely help you when you're feeling down or scared or anything like that. Praying can definitely help.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. It can be a bit of a tough gojo at times. I mean, I do always did respect Yara as the god of knowledge and magic, yeah? So, there's that.
Oh, yes, and it always helps just knowing that there's someone out there that is always willing to lend a ear and listen and not judge you for anything.
Yeah, you know what? It's not being judged. He looks pointedly at you and goes, "Yeah, it's a new experience." As he-
Arches a brow, just a deadpan look. She's like,
I am not a god.
You can say that again. As he. By the way, popcorn. As he gets back up in his bag of holding.
Oh, well, yeah, I believe I finished up by this point. Just a few other small things, but I can finish that up before bed. Yeah, yes, please.
she'll take a piece to eat and then take a seat. Though actually, to be realistic, when she stands up, there will be a bit of a wobble to her legs, and then she'll take a seat and just kind of rub at her knees.
A bit stiff, are ya?
Oh, yes, I haven't moved from that spot all day.
Oh, well, I mean, I suppose it goes on like that. But,
What was that?
oh, no, I suppose you just get stiff from the movement of not moving around. Bit of rigor mortis.
Just looks at him, just like,
You know, I don't like jokes like that.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Says it gets back up. But in all seriousness, though, yeah, maybe you would like to get a cushion down there or something.
Um, I no, I couldn't. It's part of the process. Atoning is apologizing, and doing so isn't always the most comfortable, and that's just part of, well, making up for it, things.
Well, no, the whole suffering through faith sort of thing, yeah?
Well, compared to many things, a little bit of sore knees isn't terrible.
I suppose it might be true. I mean, you're young yet. I could tell you when you get older, your sore knees become more of a bother.
goes quiet for a moment, just like slight uncertain furrowed brow. She's still kind of rubbing her knees and looking at the floor. It's just like,
I've sort of been thinking about that conversation we had, um, about how old I might actually be. It's sort of been running around the back of my mind. Am I? Am I young? Am I old? I don't know.
That is true. I was thinking about it myself. There is a possibility of uncovering the age of yourself through mystical and scientific nature, yeah?
How so?
Well, there's a few spells that can help you gauge an age of an object or an item. Looks you up and down. I wonder if the identify might even work. I mean, you is technically a magical creature at this point.
I see.
Or, is the other way of doing it is we could just carbon date you.
I'm sorry. What's that?
Oh, it's this way of looking at, you see, create some atoms, and he goes into the thing of have half-lives. When a being is formed, they have a thing called carbon. When you can detect how old something is by seeing how much of the half-life the carbon has gone through.
I see.
she has an attentive look on her face, absorbing this information.
So, it might be possible to carbon date your body somehow. I need a bit of your flake of skin or perhaps a hair. I just thought of something. Do you cut your hair?
No.
She looks at the braid over her shoulder and chest, just like,
I haven't cut it since waking.
Has it grown?
Um, Huh. No.
Now that is interesting. The cellular growth in your body apparently has ceased in the hair follicles at least.
Huh.
If that is the case, the non-aging thing is even more likely.
She looks at her hair, is just like,
I see. So, if I were to someday cut it, it's unlikely it would grow back?
My guess would be that whatever you do to that hair will be permanent. So, be very certain before you do anything. Or get a wig, either or. As he goes in and grabs another handful of popcorn.
I see. It's, well, that's a bit of a unnerving thought, but okay. I really hope at some point I can figure out all of this mess.
Well, I'm sure with some patience, some science, and some research, we could figure it out eventually. With the help of your god, of course, and good old Yara, we should be able to get it all done lickety-splickety.
Uh, well, I don't know if it's important to someone as amazing as Zeros and his grand plan of things. I don't know if something so small really matters.
Nine. You're thinking about this all wrong. You think it's small that you're a living dead person with a soul and body of its own? This is big news. You is unique. And what god would not be interested in the unique?
Unique.
Yeah, it's
looks
dash
down at
one
the
of
floor.
a kind.
Aw, she's actually kind of touched to hear that. She gets like an actual kind of small, genuine smile to the face and just slight flush to cheeks, just happy to receive a compliment. It's just like,
I never really thought of it that way. That's good to know.
Well, I mean, it's fun. Like I say, take some pride in yourself. You is a strong, independent, undead woman, and you is got the world at your shoulders.
I maybe one day. I still have many things I have to fix about myself and make up for before I can think of becoming something like that.
Victor will shrug and just kind of pat her on the knee. Don't worry about it. You got all your time in the world. Want a little bit of help from friends will help you along the way, yeah?
kind of taps her chin and looks up at the ceiling. It's just like,
That's a little strange. I don't think any of my friends are very scientifically knowledge.
What? You kidding me? That Jubei's got a lickety-splickety mind.
Oh, well, yes, but this doesn't really seem to be his specialty in particular.
That is true. He's more into the stabby and punchy sort of thing, I give ya. Well, what about Cinder? She's not so bad.
I suppose. She is a very nice person. The few talks I've had with her, she seems wonderful, but she seems very. How do I put this?
Robotic?
Yeah.
No, it's just a fair thing. There's something screwy with her, too. Hmm. I wonder. She looks up at you and thinks about Cinder. I wonder if you two have more in common than you might think.
Well, funny you say that based off of the conversation I've had with her. It seems I might, though. She seems to be more on the end of when things were less well with me, where she's more focused on following orders.
Hmm.
Well, I guess I'm really not really one to talk. I still have that problem sometimes, but I mean, I the lack of questioning, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not a good thing, definitely. Especially for a scientific mind, but... Well, we'll see if Cinder moves along her own way as well. As I said, we've got a good group of people here for the most part. Even those of us who aren't so friendly.
Who looks at him at that?
Because...
Glance at him at that, and then forward against doesn't comment.
Oh, well. By the way, make sure you take care of yourself, As he's starting to get ready to head out.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, you don't want to... Like I said, I still think you should get a pillow for your knees, yeah? I mean, you so said yourself that the hair follicles do not grow back, yeah? So, it's possible if you get arthritis in your knees, that'll be there for permanency. Better safe than sorry.
Thinks about that for a second, then gives like kind of a helpless little shrug and half smile. It's just like,
well, as I mentioned before, if that's how it turns out, I mean, small penance to pay.
Give kind of like a half-hearted shrug. Well, if that's the way you think about it, so once again, I somehow doubt that your god Xeris wants you to suffer. He did give you a mind to think after all. Perhaps you should use it more.
I That's the thing, though. I feel like the reason he brought me, well, whatever he did, whether that's bringing me back or saving me or whatever it is, I feel like his only reason for having done that was to give me another chance to make up for the things that I've done. And well, letting myself be comfortable and stuff like that isn't really making up for things. Because otherwise, I can't imagine any other reason why he would have brought me back.
Victor's just going to kind of give a suave chuckle and goes, You know what? Somehow I doubt he brought you back just so you could get sore knees either.
opens mouth, closes it. Looks up towards the ceiling in thought, and as if like she's trying to see through it up towards the sky. And just...
I suppose that could be true.
Look, he's a god of justice and of goodness, yeah?
Yes.
I'll tell you what, and he goes into his bag again and he pulls out a little pillow. I use this sometimes for my bench. Why don't you use it for a bit? If Zaros doesn't strike you down on the permanency, why don't you take it as an okay that it is okay not to have to punish yourself over things as the past so much?
There's kind of a flicker of a pained look in her eyes at that, but it fades back to like the nervous usual smile. It's just like,
I'll try.
She'll get up to take the pillow. It's just like,
but thank you, Victor, for the pillow.
You're quite welcome. And like I said, remember, you don't have to punish yourself all the time for this. I don't think Zaros brought you back as the Earth just so you could feel bad and hurt yourself over this sort of thing and apologize for things that happened. If he put you here for anything, in my opinion, it's to help others and do the right thing, yeah?
A multitude of looks passes her face before eventually just it's more strained, nervous about. It's just like,
as they say, ignorance is bliss. I think this conversation would be going much differently if, well, if you knew. Never mind. I'll try.
Victor's just gonna give her one kind of like very stern look and goes, you know what? I know that that's an old saying. I never did like that one, though. But, as I said, life goes on. Heck, if Jubei can get Davia to forgive someone for doing something horrible, then there's hope for everybody, yeah?
I, I of course don't know the full extent of Davia's background. I can only assume what with her being a pirate and all. But you can't help wonder sometimes where the line is drawn.
Hmm, this is true. But as I said, if someone like Davia can forgive, everyone should be able to be forgiven. But that's just an old gnome's thoughts.
Then let me ask you this: if someone spent, as an example, years and years trying to
she kind of like looks around trying to think of a good example, and then eventually just like,
years and years trying to hurt or kill or horribly harm your daughter or children in some way, and then one day they're like, one day they did something makes them do different. Would you forgive them for that?
Victor will stop, rub his chin, look up and think. I suppose it's a bit of a dependence on what it was, but I have forgiven the man that has killed my wife. Does that answer your question in any way?
Not really. I mean, as you said before, your reasoning for being able to forgive him was because you realized he was ignorant and thought he was doing the right thing, but was actually not. What
Yeah, this
if,
is
in that
true.
case, what if in this case he was purposely doing the wrong thing and purposely wanted to hurt her so much more than he did? Would you still be able to say the same?
Hmm. This is a difficult question. I suppose if the man truly changed and truly realized what he did was wrong, I suppose at least I would be able to let him be a bygone, yeah? I could seek vengeance against him, but would I be any better at that point? I mean, if he was still evil and doing bad things and needed to be stopped, that's a different story. But if he is truly repentful and is no longer the man he was, then I'd say my mind has to be to forgiveness enough to let him grow.
looks down at the pillow in her hands and again has a kind of like tense, uncomfortable smile on her face. It's just like,
Well, you have a good heart, Victor. That's at least one thing I can say about you. I don't believe everyone would agree, though.
Perhaps not. But not everyone's as smart as me either. He just taps his head knowingly.
a snappy comment kind of came to her head at that, but then she just she shakes it off this time.
Well, at the very least, if somehow everything comes to light, I guess at least it's a bit of a relief knowing that as much as we don't get along, at least you won't try to kill me or hate me from the very bottom of your heart.
At that, he looks at you very, very oddly. He's like, "You weren't expecting to hurt my daughter, are ya?" Because I can tell you right now, she could take you in the fight. He says to break the tension as she's looking terrified.
Eventually looks at him as just like, again, there's just like so many different things coming across your face. She's just like,
as I am now.
As you are now, yeah?
Yes.
Was that it? So you're saying you could take my daughter if you was different?
No! Damn it.
Sorry. I have too much fun with Victor.
she just shakes her head. She's like,
Never mind. Again, thank you for the pillow.
Victor kind of pats her again. He's like, I know what you mean. Just mind your normal sense of humor. But, as I said, everyone deserves forgiveness, and the person you were is not the person you are. Just remember that, yeah?
But if I wasn't brought back, I would have died the person I was and never changed.
Victor kind of rubs his chin. That's one way to look at it. There's another way to look at it as well.
What's that?
One could argue that anytime someone has a huge change in their personality, the person they were died then and there, and the new person is the one that replaces the old one. In that sense, you're not much different from everybody else who changes.
But as you mentioned before, as one of your hypotheses, who's to say this is even really me and not just what's I'm being forced to think and feel?
Juba kind of rubs his chin. As I said, that was a hypothesis. If you remember the rest of it, I also said that was the most unlikely of the scenarios. Someone who is controlled and to think wouldn't have the free will to be such a jerk.
I guess a small laugh at her. Tension finally leaving her face.
I suppose that is fair. It would be very strange if this individual was trying to make me a better person and made me so disgusted by your very presence.
Has a grin.
Exactly. So my very existence, it proves that you is in existence. You hate, therefore you are.
With a bit more calm to her face and genuineness, it's just like,
Thank you, Victor. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime. Believe it or not, I actually enjoy our little conversations.
These ones or the back and forth?
You know, honestly, both are fun. The back and forth is a good way to sharpen the mind. These ones, just gonna pat her on the knee again. It's a good way to sharpen the heart.
thinks about it for a moment.
You know, perhaps you're right. I definitely feel much more confident when I am berating you. That is.
See, there you go. Confidence is my middle name. He got a stupid grin. And I'm glad that I am able to share this name with you.
Makes like a like hibby jibby sort of like gripping her arm, both of her forearms type of thing. Is just like,
Oh, geez, just thinking of sharing the same name as you.
Not in that way. Don't be disgusting.
Oh dear, I think I feel more nauseous than when I smelled that meat. Ugh.
Would you like a Tums? Breaks up the bag of holding again.
oh gosh, stops like the heebie-jeebie expression. Just gives him a smug glance. It's just like,
I'd rather not ingest anything that you have touched, please.
Kind of looks at us like, what do you think I do with my Tums? Oh, well, each to his own. I know I'm going to need some tonight after all that turkey.
all at what?
All that turkey.
Oh.
Yes, you still have that in your bag.
She says, giving it a look of just.
Kind of gives her an odd look back and goes, do you even know what that bag of holding is?
Yes, I am aware.
So what's the big issue? You're just sick of this. Is the very idea that there's a turkey leg in an alternate dimension making you ill?
No, it is just picturing it and remembering this.
has to put a hand in her mouth.
You know, maybe you should just picture it floating in an endless void of blankness, surrounded by ethereal creatures of any sorts of nature, looking at that turkey leg and going, damn, I wish I could eat that turkey leg.
It is not so much the picture. Again, it's this. The
Schmel, okay. He goes into the bag of holding. Well, I was going to give this to my daughter, but hands her a small bottle of perfume. If it might help with your smell removal.
Blinks. Carefully takes it. Gives it a little.
It's kind of like a rosy smell.
Oh, I mean, I'm very flattered. It's very nice, but you don't have to if this is for your daughter.
Yeah, don't worry about it. She's got the jumbo economy pack. He pulls out 5 more bottles.
Well, okay.
looks down at it. It's just like,
Hmm.
and then she kind of like looks forward at the opposite wall, just like brows furrowing and a small frown coming into her face, just like,
Oh dear, you've given me quite a number of things. And I haven't really done anything. I gotta think now. I will make up for this. I promise.
Kind of gives a half shrug as if he doesn't really care. Yeah, if you do, it's great. Otherwise, don't worry about it. As I said, it's no skin off my back for this stuff.
I'm still working on the soap, of course. Don't remember. Well, that's more of a for me thing.
she thinks,
Victor kind of rolls his eyes. You know what? If you need any help with that, just ask.
Oh, I am sure I can figure it out. I am on test number 36 now. Just a few more tries. I'm
So how much lard are you using?
a bit.
God. I bet. You know, if we're gonna run out if you're on that many tests already, but you know what? Don't worry about it. And as I said, if you need any help, I'm more than happy to give you a hand. After all, frenemies have to stick together.
Frenemies.
Yeah, you know.
I believe that is a perfect title.
Yeah, I thought so. We're enemies,
Where's-
but on friendly terms.
Exactly. Enemies that do not want to kill each other yet.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you got a leg up on me, there.
looks at him.
Stupid grin on his face. You would never take a joke! Oh, well. You have a good night, and, rest well, and I'll see you in the morning. I have to go get to bed. The kids got to go get tucked in still.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm gonna finish up what I was doing. I still have a few more things.
She'll get off the stool to kind of settle herself down on the floor. Oh, though she'll pause, remember the pillow, and kind of bring it over to set that under her knees.
Victor doesn't say a thing, just has a smile on his face as he leaves.
That was nice.
It's funny how much those two get along and hate each other.
Right? And in the end, it didn't tap at all into her backstory stuff.
Not particularly. Well, I mean, we were skirting around it.
Yeah, no, I liked that conversation.